Good afternoon, teacher and student fellows. My name is Gabriel, and this is a presentation where I'm going to tell you about what did I write in my essay and how the digital classroom in the digital culture in the classroom is for me a tool that can transform everything and the way that we are teaching. In this essay, I answer and I try to explain my points of view with the three different topics that we needed to make it. In the first part, I make a little bit of an introduction and try to explain with some research data about how the digital education are changing the way that we are learning and we are teaching, and how both either the students and the educators need to experience all the changing that we are creating with the digital and teaching learning. The idea here is try to explore the impact that culture in the classroom and the influence of language and how the culture is changing all with the digital area and how the educational tools are changing for us as teachers. Also, the idea is try to explain how this digital area is going to change during the two next decades and how we need to update it ourselves over and over again. Because yeah, maybe we are young, but we are teachers, and in 10 or 20 years, we have to be updated with all the information, all the things that are changing in the technology. In the first part, I answer the question about how can network and social media change the language of a culture in a classroom. And I try to explain a little bit about how social media change the way that the students are learning, how the way that the students are doing their things, and how do we need to create a culture in education as a teachers. How can we integrate all the required with the digital thing related with the classroom, and we how can we make a shift in mindset, how can we change our chip in the way that we are teaching and the way we are learning. Important for me here, and in the most important way, is how can educators, we as a teachers, must be trained to adapt the digital tools and use them in an effective way. Try to create interesting classroom. Try to connect with the students, thinking about that they are just having a real important moment with technology. For them is natural. The digital area for them is natural, but for us can be a little tricky to be on the way, be on the step that they are making it. So in the first part, I try to connect the evolving of the teaching and the evolving and learning. In the second topic, I answer the question about is the internet language in culture a new tool that must be implemented in the classroom, and I try to make a point of view as for me, it's very important that we can implement and integrate all the technology in the classroom, because the internet can give us a lot of information, can give us the tool to make a collaborative and innovative classroom. Also, the virtually changing, making the perspective, improvement on language skills, and foster global citizenship. In teaching languages, it's very important to be connected with the global and the culture of the language. And the way that we can make that is using the technology. It's basically like we are trying to learn English, Italian, or French. It's not necessary just to learn the language, but also to know the culture. But if we can travel there, we can use the internet to know all the information that we need uh, about the culture, or also incorporated the language and culture of the internet into the classroom. Just ensure that they don't learn also the language, but also the engagement of the cultural dimensions. In the third part, I try to answer the question: what will be the role of new technology teaching in maybe in the next 20 years? And I try to make, just not because it's obviously that the technology is going to change, so it's not something that we can stop, but I'm trying to make it just about how the teaching and the teachers can adapt to that technology, that they must be in like an open mind, because it's going to change. Definitely in 20 years the technology is going to be more and more and more advanced. We have the artificial intelligence right now. We have the virtual intelligence. We have everything nowadays, and in 20 years is going to be more and more and more expanded. So we need to adapt, and we can personalize learning experience. Um, Also, we can create immersive, interactive, and personalized experience that every student learn in their own way using the power of technology. In this essay, I try just to make a little bit about my opinion about how technology is necessary. It's just not a tool, it's part of it, it's part of learning, it's part of teaching. And like I said in the previous question, is part of what a student needs to learn everything related with the culture. Basically, in the conclusion, I just try to make a statement about how the digital culture in the classroom represent a transformative opportunity for language and cultural education. And using technology, social media, and internet, educators can make learning engagement and globally relevant. Basically, as an educators, we need to, or it's very imperative to adapt of the changes and be prepared that learners are going to be every time more and more needed of information. Just not need just a little bit about an image or a sound. They need more and more information to be interconnected in the world. But also, for me, it's very important this part. Digital work should complement teaching, but not replace it. Obviously, is necessary, not just using the technology to teach, but learn how to teach, learn how to use. The technology can be a great opportunity to learn, but not can replace a real learning process. All the references that I use are here, but if you would like to see more information and learn or read my essay, you can go here to the document that I'm going to share, so you can read all the details that I make it and all my statements and conclusions related with information. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.